So I told y'all to stay tuned. So I'm gonna do that review for Black Panther 2: Wakanda Forever. Let me say I'm gonna wait until the end of the video to give you guys my 1 out of 10. I'm just gonna talk about a few topics before I give you that, just so you guys don't, just I give you my score, you don't like it. So the first, I'll start from the very beginning. The way they encapsulated the fact that Chadwick Boseman passed away, and honored him and what he did for the community was wonderful.
It's enough to make a grown man cry, and that's okay.
Another good thing that they did really well with the movie was transitioning um, the storyline. I feel like almost like they were going from old to new generation with the whole story, and they did a great job transitioning, is making it that they're going to start going towards Shuri's way, which wasn't always a traditional way. I think they did a really good job with that. Another thing was, Namor. I think I'm pronouncing it correctly, but damn, that man is cold. When I tell you, when he makes threats, they're not like, yeah, sure you will. They're like, nah, damn straight. If I make this threat, you better follow through because I'm gonna come to collect.
Who are you?
I have many names. My people call me Khan, but my enemies call me Namor.
Another one of my favorite parts of this movie was when I saw this. Let me tell you, when I saw that on the screen, I was hyped. I have a lot of Cape Verdeans that are in my community, so the whole theater was erupted when we saw that. And being a Cape Verdean, always telling people, yeah, me di Cabo Verde, I'm Cape Verdean. That was like, where is that? So it's like finally seeing it on the big screen was a big plus. It was a bonus. It was like, okay, now you already got like a 10 out of 10 just because of this one clip. But that's I'm not gonna add that into my scores. Just because it's I'm not gonna base the whole movie on, on those 2 seconds. But definitely once I saw that, it was great getting that representation, because I feel like a lot of people don't know about Cabo Verde, Cape Verde. So it was a great ad, and even though I know it wasn't filmed there, just the fact that it was on the screen, it was wonderful. The whole concept of grief in this movie, they did a great job with both Shuri and Namor, and a lot of other characters. They showed that there are different ways to grief. Some are extreme, and some are valid. There's a lot of ways to grief. There's no one right way to grief, and they did a great job showing that throughout the whole movie, and showing that just getting through grief doesn't mean that you just move on and forget about it. Kind of like some movies, when a person passes away, they have those first few minutes in the beginning, and then you never hear about it again. This movie was showing that throughout the movie, you're dealing with that grief, but it's not weighing you down anymore. And that was a great concept throughout the whole movie. Moving through that, so that way you can still live your life, um, but that you don't have to feel like you can't live it anymore because that person has passed away. So my final review for this movie is, I'm gonna, because I can't think of anything wrong with it or anything I would add to this movie, I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. This movie practically, encompassed everything that they needed to. I don't think there was anything missing from it. Um, in my personal feelings, there was a 10 out of 10. And if I'm going to be honest, if I add those extra points for having Cabo Verde on there, it's going to be a 12 out of 10. And then we're not even going to talk about the post credits right now. I'll do another video on the post credits, but then they're going to be at a 14 out of 10. Like, this movie was wonderful. It was a great experience. It covered all the bases, and they filled in all the gaps that there would be in future movies, and covered everything they needed to do it, and also did it in a respectful way for Chadwick Boseman. It was wonderful. I would suggest for everybody to go watch it. 10 out of 10.